No, like too bad because it's on.
But it is nice to work it up.
Scott desks. In fact, did they get delivered yet? Do you know? Because I was at the
No, they haven't got.
They got most of the stuff out.
out. So anyway, we were going through all of our stuff to get ready for this new furniture. I have Jacob Bernie's graduation card because I can't remember what happened.
Well, whatever happened to Marlene too, because Marlene just gave it to him like a month ago.
So,
Whatever happened to
I told
everybody.
Natalie I said, Natalie, come see me. I have Jacob's card for him. And so when she came to my office, all my stuff was, they had wrapped my room. So all my stuff was in these boxes and they were up on the shelf and I was like, come back, baby. I have no idea where the card is right now. And I guess about put it in my drawer or whatever. This is outside out of mind. And so anyway, I had packed up all my stuff to use for the federal programs and they weren't in. So we just emptied our desk yesterday and I saw it. And I was like, oh my God.
Everybody sign in.
Oh, no, 1.5. I will tell you though, the worst thing was fatigue. It was complete total fatigue.
Are you still better?
I'm still,
Like
the last couple days I've felt way more normal than I was feeling.
Well, you look good.
But,
So everybody else is recovered in the office.
Did
some people still have the cough though, which they say you can keep the cough for a long time. Which my cough is never bad. Like I might cough once or twice an hour. But a couple people in the office had a real bad cough, like a keep you up at night kind of cough.
Well, I can't believe I haven't gotten it. I cannot believe as much as I'm in all these different schools, and I am careful. I wear my mask when I'm around, and I'm
Well, here's what I think is the problem here. The only doors that open is right there. We don't have any windows. We don't have any doors outside because when you're at a school, those doors are constantly open and air's coming in. But we don't have that here. Because when it started happening, I texted them and said they need to like fog our building. Like, because there's nowhere for the air to go. It's because we don't sit, we're not like you guys at Federal Pregnancy Store, we're right on top of each other. We're all spread out. Well. Texas.
Can everybody hear us okay on the Zoom call? We're gonna get started in just a minute. You wanna come on this side?
Can I?
If you're in it now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October meeting of PIDAC. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today, and we're going to have a good meeting. I think we've got some great things planned for you. Remember, I'm Wanda Wilkinson. I work for federal programs, and I'm kind of facilitator of the PIDAC group. And so today we're going, our agenda has Dr. Surrency on first after we welcome everyone. So I think maybe we'll go around the room quickly and introduce ourselves and then flash the screen and let you guys introduce yourself. And if you would please, if you're representing a school, if you would please tell your name and the school that you represent or the schools that you represent. That way we kind of get an idea who's in the room. Okay, thank you. Yeah. You want to start around the room first there? Maybe we can make them do it. Can everyone hear us? Can you give us a thumbs up? All right, we'll just start with Mr. Eddie, and we'll introduce ourselves around the room, and then we'll go to the screen.
Nathan Edens, Project Praise for federal programs.
Casey Griffiths, acceleration specialist for the school district, and Kelly Smith Elementary.
Penelope Snyder, I have 3 boys at QI Roberts.
I represent Milton Elementary.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cherie Clayton, and I'm from Federal Programs, and I am our ELO support leader for the district.
Hi, I'm Becky Moats. I'm working federal programs, and I'm representing as a district graduation coach.
Amanda Burney, I am in our CTE department. I'm also avid co-district director with Renee Huff. And I am a parent too. I have a student at Black High School, so.
All right, if we could go to the screen now and maybe start with Ms. Kimberly.
There we go. Good morning. I am Kimberly Bradford. I'm representing Susan Hellwig State Farm Agency, and I also have a student at QI Roberts. Good morning.
Morning. I'm Andy Burnett. I'm ESC director for the district.
Are you?
No, they're all muted.
Yes,
Hi, I'm Barbara Bryant. I'm a school improvement specialist, and I have a 5th grader at Kelly Smith Elementary.
Hi, my name is Luz Guerrero, and I'm a parent. I have a 12th grader at Crescent City High School.
Hey, it's Ted Hangel. I'm the principal at Interlochen Elementary. And I stopped video because I have a lot of people coming to my office. That's constant. But it's good seeing y'all.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Barbara. Go ahead, Barbara.
I'm sorry, I'm Barbara Bunch, and I'm a parent of a 6th grader at CH Price and a senior at QI Roberts.
Let me facilitate a little bit. Katisha, will you go next?
Yes, I'm Katricia Champagne. I'm with NEFEC, and I have a 7th grader at QI and a 4th grader with Mr. Hangel at Interlochen Elementary.
Excellent. And Ms. Rose? You go next.
That's actually my daughter's name. My name's Cherie. I have a junior and a freshman at Palaca High, 8th grader at Jenkins, a 6th grader at CeeLo, and a 2nd grader at James A. Long.
You're well represented. Dr. Stern? I think you're on mute, Dr. Sorensen. Yep, can't hear you.
There you go.
I think you're on now.
Maybe you want to go to that? You want me to see if we can figure out?
Yeah. We're gonna work on that, Dr. Sorensen.
We heard him for a
Okay,
minute.
let's go to Ms. Chad.
Hi, I'm Tess Simpson. I've got 2 kids at Children's Reading Center.
Okay.
Are you live now, Dr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear from you.
Can you hear me yet?
Yes, we can.
We can.
Okay. Hey, I was going to say, that's a cool office Patricia has behind her. Man, I've never seen so many books. Wow. Pretty cool. Am I on now?
You are.
Okay. You want me to go ahead and talk?
Let's let Jen introduce ourselves and.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, Jen.
Sure. I'm Jennifer Azula. I am the Director of Teaching and Learning in Putnam, and I'm so excited to see so many familiar faces.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes, I'm JD Thompson, Assistant Principal at E.H. Miller, and I'm here with Miss Tracy Taylor, the principal here. I have a 6th grader at Melrose and a 10th grader at PHS.
Ms. Wright, did we hear from you? Yeah. We did, okay, and you heard from Tess Simpson, did you? Have you introduced yourself? Okay, yes, and I guess that's everybody then, okay?
And Wanda, I just walked in.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Unless you don't. Introduce yourself.
Dr. Coleman, Director of Federal Programs. It's so nice to see so many of you here again. I know it's a crazy time, but I appreciate y'all taking a minute to join us so that we can partner with you in the work that we do.
Okay, at this time, Dr. Sorensen, would you like to address the group?
Yeah. Can everybody hear me? Just thumbs up that you can hear me okay?
Gotcha.
Good. Okay. Don't know what's going on in my audio. Thank you, Wanda. And I always look forward to talking to our parent group. And I see we have a lot of school folks here. Just want to mention a couple of highlights of some things going on right now. First of all, we are coming to the end of our first 9 weeks, and it's been pretty eventful. And I think it's really been a success with us coming back face to face. There are a lot of states, a lot of places that have not done so. And Dr. Coleman actually showed me some interesting research not too long ago showing how that is actually benefiting our kids by being back face to face. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. But our state is actually, I was on a call last week with our Commissioner of Education, myself and all the other superintendents, and the state is actually wanting all of our districts to gradually get back to 90% face-to-face by February. And currently we're right about, hey Laura, currently we're right about 70%, but we are actually, we've sent a letter out. Some of you might have received that letter, and we're trying to encourage people to come back. And I think after when people see the first 9-week grades, especially those students that may be online, it might be that face-to-face might be another option for them. So that's kind of the direction we're going right now. We're also, you know, I know there's been some questions about the funding or the lack thereof, and I think we'll have more information coming about that here in the next month or so, as far as the rest of the year. So we'll keep you posted on that. I don't want to steal Jennifer's thunder, but I actually talked to her earlier, and she gave me a little bit of an update on some of the trainings we had, both yesterday and we've had throughout the year. But we are actually, we're doing what we call conditions walks with our district team, our district staff, and our school-based administrators. And essentially what they're doing is walking in classrooms to make sure those classrooms have the conditions for optimum learning for students. And they're also doing what we call rigor walks to see if the instruction is of a high level, so that we're meeting the standards and meeting the needs of our students. And the reason I mention that is next week, we're actually going to be meeting with all of our principals, and we're actually going to assemble all that information and kind of get a snapshot of where we are as a district as far as meeting those instructional needs of our students. And we're really not focusing too much on goals right now, just because we don't have a lot of data from last year as far as testing goes, but we are looking at our systems to make sure we have those things in place where learning is taking place. And about mid-year, around January, we will probably, you know, take a look at our 2 I-ready assessments. And from that, we'll try to make some informed decisions on, you know, what each school will do to try to meet those school improvement goals or school grade goals. So we'll keep you posted on that. But Jennifer can probably add more to this, but yesterday we had a professional development day. And I know one thing that really stood out to me was we provided some instruction on Canvas, which is our learning management system, and about how we can differentiate instruction using that learning management system. It is a new concept, teaching online and trying to engage those students. And I know Jennifer, you know, has a number of things she shared with me, but I know one thing is we're working with LSI and actually have a group of 30 middle school and high school teachers that are working together on this 3-month study to increase engagement through technology. So that is our biggest challenge right now, is making sure that we can engage those students that are doing online learning. And first of all, to make sure they sign in and don't turn their screen off. So it's really a challenge for our teachers. So we're always looking for new strategies that we can engage them more so. So right now, just things that I think are going well, considering the fact we're in the middle of a global pandemic. And you know, the other bit of good news, we actually have our own epidemiologist that works for the Putnam County School District. Kenna Foster, who formerly worked for the health department, is now working for us full time. So we're getting 100% of her attention to make sure that we are keeping our schools safe, doing our own contact tracing, all that. So I'm just happy to say that we are keeping our staff and our students safe, and we're also focusing on learning, but we got to make sure they're safe before we do that. So with that, Wanda, thank you for having me. I'll be glad to answer any questions. Otherwise, I'll just sit back and listen.
Anyone have any questions for Dr. Sorensen? You can just speak out.
And Jen's here and can answer more details about training at whatever time if you have any questions. But I was just kind of like stealing the thunder from her. So thank you for having me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions at any time. Thank you.
Well, next on our agenda, we're going to talk about the parent-family engagement plans at both the district and the school level. And last month, in September, I set up in Google a process that I thought was going to work, where people could go in and make a copy of the checklist and then do the review, and it would still stay there in Google. And I kept checking back, and I did notice that there were some people outside of our Putnam County school community, meaning they weren't using a Putnam County school email address that were showing up in the, so it looked like it was working. But then when I looked at the activity, because I got concerned we weren't getting much feedback, it looked like several people had been in the folder, but there was no review for them. So I think what's kind of maybe happened is if you went in and you made a copy, you probably, I think you copied over someone else. Because I think we needed to like save it under your name. And so I think that's what happened. So I sent an email out yesterday with a new process where I have now created in the same folder, I made a copy and put each person's name on it. So if you go into use the invitation to get to the folder, the copy of the district parent-family engagement plan is there, and you have your own little file. You can open it and it'll save, and it should work well. And I've had Ms. Luz did that yesterday, and Ms. Snyder, yours did stay the first time. So that's kind of why I was thinking it was working at first. And then Ms. Bradford came in yesterday, and that I can see that. So even though I really hate to ask for you to take another time, some more of your time, if you haven't done so yet, if you would go into that invitation to your email and do that review for us, it would be very helpful for that to happen. I think I'm very positive it's going to work this time. At the school level, I made a spreadsheet because I have to check all the audit boxes for the 21 schools that we have in our district. And you go in and you look at different things that should be in the audit box, and then I made a spreadsheet so I could keep track of everything. And it looks like all schools have their parent-family engagement plans complete. I've reviewed all of them for, it's a checklist that I have, and we've made comments and they've updated things. And, but I'm noticing that there's not a lot of evidence where parents have been involved in the review of their plans, which is also a requirement to RESA that we have to have. So I'm going to be reaching out to principals about that, and hopefully I will also reach out to our PIDAC members that represent the schools and see if we can kind of make that happen if it hasn't already. So that's where we stand on those two very important documents that we require through ESSA to have. So that's not, are there any questions about that? Okay, well, if there are no questions, next on our agenda, we have Ms. Pamela Brown. She's our graduation initiative coordinator, and she's going to do an activity with you. Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. See the camera?
Okay, good morning. Just for a few minutes, we would like to engage you in an activity that we share with our elementary and middle school students prior to them entering high school. And it's about graduation requirements. So we won't get too far into it, but we would like to do this activity with you. You'll need a device that you can log into, and I'll share the code with you in just a second after we log in. Yes, I need you to drive so I can explain. Yep. Okay. Okay, so turn the sound down. Look. That's our Halloween music. Sorry about that. Okay, so you all should log in to kahoot.it, Kahoot. Kahoot.it. So log into kahoot.it. That's the website that you will log into. And then when he goes back to the other screen, it'll ask you for a code. And that is the code that you will put in order to participate with this activity. Great, I see we have Sunshine, Lauren's mom, Laura, Tess, Luz, Ted, JD, Becky, Mandy. Is that Mandy Bernie? Yeah, she great. Don't cheat, Mandy. Mandy should not be allowed to participate in this activity. Becky can't log out.
Hey, are there prizes?
That feeling of satisfaction you get.
Okay, so if everyone who wants to participate has logged in, I don't know how you can let me know if you're still trying to log in. Has anyone not been able to log in? Raise your hand to let us know if you haven't been able to log in.
Miss, Deborah, hold on, give us 5 seconds.
Okay, so we'll give you another minute, one more minute, and then we'll go ahead with activity. It won't take long, and then I'll just share a little bit of information. Well, I'll share the information with you now.
And did you say you wanted this with elementary?
Yes, yes, we do this with elementary, usually 5th grade students and 8th grade students. So before we do this activity, I actually share a PowerPoint presentation with them about graduation requirements and then how they can prepare for high school, or with the 5th graders, how they can prepare for middle school prior to getting there, and how what they do in middle school will feed over to high school. And then for high school students, what they do all 4 of those years feeds to that graduation year, because they're working and earning those credits toward graduation. So we share this information with them, and then we talk about what does college look like for them? What do they know about college? What colleges have they heard about? And then most of them say they want to be a Gator, they want to be a Seminole, you know, so those are the most 2 popular ones. And then we just talk about other avenues for careers and career counseling and things like that. So we share that information with them, and then we do this activity and give out prizes to the students. Becky Moats, we do not have prizes for you today, okay? So we do this activity, and they have so much fun. I've done it with like 80 students before, and it's a whole lot of fun. Sometimes when you have a number of students, you can do it in teams. And so I would group them in teams of 4, and they work together to answer the questions. And it's so funny that you will watch these students, and you know the ones who are very attentive, because they'll slide out a sheet of paper and a pencil and start taking notes when you're doing the PowerPoint presentation. So you know those students are the ones who are focused and trying to get the information. And students were like, that's not fair. I said, I did. So back, I was gonna take notes. So then they get upset and everything, but those students who are the ones who usually win because they've taken notes when I was giving my presentation. Okay, so we'll get started. I hope that everyone has been able to log in. If you have that code, put that code in, and we're going to start, and you'll have, I think, about 20 seconds to answer the question. So here's the first question.
I'm so sorry.
How many credits are required in English language arts? And those are your selections. You pick the color of your answer.
Anyhow. And you're off and running. Well, I'm doing a Zoom meeting. Can I call you back in about 5 minutes?
Okay, so.
Okay. I love you, bye.
4 credits is correct. And our leader is Mommy 2
Science.
REJM.
Science for math. Come on.
Yeah, she answered the question the fastest. Question number 2, how many credits are required for social studies for students to graduate? The correct answer is 3. So 13 people got that one correct. And Nathan jumped into the lead. Okay, so how many credits are required for a Florida Standard Diploma? "24 credits are required for a Florida Standard Diploma." 14 people got that one correct. Nathan is still in the lead. Lauren's mom and Cherie have moved up. How many credits of science are required? Three credits of science are required. 12 people got that one correct. All right, Lauren's mom back in the lead. How many online courses are required? This is a tricky question. Okay, so the correct answer is 1. And that course can be one of those 24 credits. It is not a separate credit. It is one of those 24. Nathan is back in the lead. How many credits of math are required? Four. 14 people got that one correct. And Nathan is in the lead. Is Casey feeding you the answers over here?
How is our internet connection in this room?
How many credits are required for a Florida Accelerated Diploma? Florida Accelerated Diploma. 18. That is the 18 credit option. It's called Florida Accelerated Diploma. All right, Nathan.
Nathan, was it because I was your guidance?
How many electives are required for a standard diploma? Electives. Tricky question. Okay, so I see the answers are spread out on this one, but it's 8. 8 electives are required for a Florida 24 credit diploma.
Look, Becky taught it well. Becky taught all these things.
How many PE credits are required? One PE credit. Personal fitness and a PE course. Yes.
Oh, what's there?
Mandy Bernie. All right, let's go, Mandy.
Mandy and Becky.
Well, my phone's delayed because I can't get it to say.
What is the required GPA for graduation? This is tricky too. So what is the required GPA for graduation? .2. Students cannot graduate if they do not have at least a 2.0 GPA. Is this the last question? No, we have 2 more. Okay, this one and another one. How many performing arts credits are required for graduation? One credit. So 13 people got that one correct. Mandy and Becky, it's not fair. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not fair that they're in the lead. They were high school guidance counselors. Which assessments require a passing score for graduation? Which of these assessments require a passing score for graduation? the FSA ELA, and Algebra 1 ELC. So 14 people got that one correct. So let's see who our winners are. Mandy, Betty, and Nathan. So it gives the students pedestals, and it puts their names up there. So I hope you enjoy participating in this activity. This is just one of the types of things that we do with students to engage them and get them to thinking about graduation requirements early. So thank you, and that's all I have to share for today. Hopefully I'll be able to share with you again in another PIDAC meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun. We should do this with all teachers too. Okay, so on our agenda next, we have Miss Mandy Burney. And if you recall, we did a survey at the end of our last PIDAC meeting, and there were some questions about what you would like to learn more about. And this comes from Dr. Shortency's information on the post-secondary initiative that we have. So Mandy's going to share some stuff with us today, because that was a request that you had that you would like to learn more about. So we turn it over to Miss Mandy Burney.
Which one you want?
It's the one that's, I think it's college readiness, PIDAC, that has PIDAC at the end of it. So just a little background on this. Last January, back when we could travel, I took Mr. Shortency and one of our school board members and my immediate supervisor, Renee Huff, to an AVID training in Texas. And this activity was sort of born from that training. For those of you who don't know what AVID is I hate to use the word program, but it means advancement via individual determination. It is a way of life to help our students see that there's more than just school. What comes next? What do I need to be prepared for next? And it's a program that works toward preparing those students for those next steps. So this is usually a very interactive activity, and some people that have joined us have done it before. I'm going to sort of make it interactive, but I had to really shorten it for my time here today, so it's going to not be as interactive as it usually would be. You can go on. So AVID always has group norms, so that's what this is. So if we were doing the long presentation, we would talk about group norms. Go ahead. And AVID they always want you to have an objective. So identifying and discussing barriers to college and career readiness for our students, and developing a definition or criteria that defines a college and career ready graduate. And then we have an essential question: what does a college and career ready graduate of Putnam County School District look like? So one of the things that I always like to start with this is, what are some things that we already do in our Putnam County School District that pushes kids toward this college and career readiness? Just throw out a few of them. CTE courses. Industry certifications. Anybody else? Accelerated diplomas. We have things like Cambridge. We have things like dual enrollment. JFG, AVID, STEM. We already do a lot of stuff that helps our students be college and career ready. So we're doing pretty good, right? Go ahead. But there are still barriers, and I think as we are in this pandemic, some of those barriers have gotten even thicker or bigger or more noticeable, I guess you could say. So if you want to real quickly on a piece of paper, just jot down some barriers that you think students in our district have for college and career readiness. I'm gonna give you about a minute or so.
I'll do that. Can we do stopwatch?
Sure.
About a minute and a half?
Sure.
You're far away.
So normally when I do this activity, you'd be putting these each on a sticky note that we would then do. We're going to kind of simulate that here today without doing the actual total interaction. So tell me some of them. What are some barriers that you guys see to college and career readiness in our community?
Technology, access, all of the things with technology.
Okay. Money. Okay.
Transportation.
Okay.
I would say our low reading levels of our students.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
Mentorships for those first-time college students that need.
Tess has in the comment, internet access, technology access.
Okay.
And expectations support.
Family expectations and family issues.
Okay.
Current COVID visiting campuses.
So go ahead. David.
Lack of spontaneous collaboration, confidence, enough mentors, family support and engagement.
Okay. You can go to the next slide. So as you look at those barriers and think about those barriers, think about them this way. Is that barrier a system issue? Is transportation a system issue? Is that barrier a leadership issue? For example, if you put teacher shortage, right? Because we really have a teacher shortage. I think it's worse now than probably it ever has been. Is that a system issue? Is that a leadership issue? Is that a culture? We mentioned the parent issue. Is that a culture issue or is that a system issue? Can some of these be multiple types of issues? Is it an instruction issue? We talked about reading. Is that an instruction issue? So think about your barriers and where does it fall? And 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to fall in more than one of these categories, right? But thinking about it this way helps us do what? Address it, right? Because if it's a system issue, we address the system, right? If it's a leadership issue, we have to look at leadership. If it's an instruction issue, that's where gen and training and things like that would come in. So that's why we want to look at them through this lens. And then there's another lens we want to look at. Go ahead. So you got to start thinking of your list like this. Which of those issues on your list can we control as a district? Which of those issues can we influence as a district? Which of them do we have no control over? If we were doing this activity interactively, we would have paper on the walls and you would take your sticky notes and stick them. Go ahead to the next slide. On the chart. These we can control. These we can influence. These we have no control over. Does anybody have one on their list that they think we have no control over?
Family expectations.
Family expectations, but do we really have no control over that?
I think we could educate parents.
We could influence that one, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody else have one they think we have no control over? But can we have some control over transportation? Can we influence that one? We can, maybe not full control, but we could have influence. Goal is, what do we want? We want all of these barriers to be stuff we can control or influence. Because if we can't control it, there's nothing we can do. Kind of like the pandemic. There's nothing we can do about that. There are certain things we can try to influence with it, wearing our mask, staying home more. But our goal is, as a district, we want all of these things to be in the control or influence category, because we want to be able to have some influence or some control over those barriers. Okay? So, in thinking about those barriers and thinking about what our end goal is to have a graduate that not only has a high school diploma, but is ready to go to some next step, whether it's college, whether it's military, whether it's a career, whether it's a tech school. We want them to be able to go to some next step. Go ahead. So what does this kid look like? So what we would do in my presentations is we would begin to talk about what does this look like. And one researcher whose work I use, Avid likes to use his work, go ahead, is David Conley. And he says that there are 4 keys to a college and career ready graduate. They have to think, they have to know, they have to act, and they have to go. Go ahead. For think, they have to know how to develop a hypothesis, have a problem-solving brain, identify sources and collect information, analyze, evaluate. All those higher level thinking things we want kids to do, right? That's the think part. They have to know. They need to have foundational knowledge. What is the secret to reading? Is it that they had no exposure as a toddler? Foundational knowledge, where does that come from? Big ideas from core subjects. They get it. Understanding the structure of knowledge. Having some technical knowledge and skills. You can go ahead. Go. Info not always equally accessible to all students. They know which courses to take to prepare for the post-secondary. They know the requirements to get accepted into a post-secondary institution. They understand a career pathway. They understand financial aid, and they understand self-advocacy. I would say, even though I was a counselor at Palatka High School for 10 years, and we worked on this nonstop, this is one of the hardest things with our kids, is the go. Is making sure they know the go. And then the act. This is another hard one with our kids. I think this is probably hard with lots of kids everywhere. Do they own their knowledge? Do they have ownership of it? Do they set goals? Do they have persistence? Do they have grit? Do they have self-efficacy, time management, study skills, self-monitoring? Programs like AVID and JFG, this is what they seek to give kids. So now what? Going back to the why. So what happened when we were at this training in Texas was, at the beginning of when Mr. Searcy came into office, he had this strategic plan, and one of the big initiatives that Pam and Becky are involved in is the graduation initiative. And we have almost met those goals. Like, we're so close to meeting those goals. So what's next? What do we do next? And so what was kind of an aha for us at this training was we need to think about after high school. We got these kids graduated, we've got great graduation rate, but what's happening next? And so what Mr. Searcy wanted us to do was to begin to look at what is our next step. So this flowed right into being a new goal, right? We haven't formed it yet because we kind of got stopped in our tracks when we were working on this last year. But after we meet that graduation rate goal, our new goal needs to be, what does a Putnam County college and career ready graduate look like? And it speaks to all kinds of things. Think about it this way. If I go all the way back to pre-K at Kelly Smith, what is that kid in pre-K getting that's going to result in a college and career ready graduate by 12th grade? What is that kid in 5th grade getting that's going to result in a college and career ready? So vertical alignment, horizontal alignment, equity issues will be involved in this. You can go ahead. So what our plan was, and we started this last year, we were going to meet with groups that have an interest in this, stakeholders. I met with the superintendent's leadership team. I met with his parent advisory council and did this activity. I met with the principals and did this activity. Met with the school board and did this activity. We were getting as much information, definition. You guys have a sheet. We don't do it that way in the big meeting. In the normal meeting, we do it a little bit different, more interactive. But we wanted as much input as we could as to what do people in our community, what do all these stakeholders feel like a career and college graduate looks like? What is that definition going to be for our district? Ultimate goal is to have a definition that is measurable, that data can back up, that shows our students are meeting that goal of being college and career ready. So we had planned to meet with a teacher group. We had planned to meet with a student group. We had planned to meet with the assistant principals. I think we were going to try the guidance counselors also. But COVID happened and we didn't get to do that. We had to cancel several meetings. And I'm not sure when we're going to be able to get all that back on track. But that's kind of what the plan is to move into that next phase of what comes after the graduation initiative. Any questions? Does anybody want to share what they said a college ready graduate should look like? Because we all see it different, right? I mean, I know with like our community group that we met with, which was a lot of business people, it was things like industry certification passed, some kind of technical training, writing skills, communication skills, phone skills. It was stuff like that, which would, you get from their background, versus school board members that had a little bit different ideas. So it's been interesting to see, but I would say in general, they're all very similar of what they think that should look like. And so our next step was to start collating that. He was going to form, I think, a committee like he did previously when he did the, we just didn't get that far. So that's all I have. If you want to share what you wrote with me and so I can include it with the other input we've given, I can do that. And thank y'all for having me today.
Ms. Bernie, I have a question.
Yes.
If there are people hearing your presentation today and would love to be a part of the committee, that is there a way to become
They can
involved?
either email me or they can email Wanda, and she can let me know their names. And I don't know when we're going to get back on this. I actually, for those of you who don't know my other job, it's Putnam Virtual School, and it's been quite crazy this year. Just like everybody else's life, it's been quite crazy this year. And so this has really kind of gotten pushed beyond what happened in the spring. I haven't even had a chance to talk to Dr. Starksey about when are we going to get back to this. I know that, I think he's talked about it in leadership maybe. But I hadn't even had a chance to have a conversation with you about when we're going to get back to this again. But yes, if people are interested in helping out with this or being on that, I think you called it a task force or steering committee. We certainly want your help. So yeah, just let me or Wanda know, and I will make sure he has that information. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I just, when I think about it, as a high school graduate myself, so many years ago, and my daughter, I think about if you just get a child believing that there is a place for me beyond here, there's something for me beyond here. I think that would be such a huge difference. Even if that's not what they end up actually doing, at least they have an idea. Because I remember graduating and not having that, and how many courses, how much coursework it cost me for my daughter to finally make up her mind. So it's a good thing if you do that. And I have to say this, given the success that we've had with our graduation rates, with the work of Ms. Pam and Ms. Becky here and other people involved in our graduation initiative, and you think of the short period of time, how far we've come, when we set our minds to do things, we can do things. So when we get back on track, I feel sure that this initiative will just take off this and have as much success as we had with our graduation. Okay, I have one more thing on the agenda, and it's resources. And I wanted to share with you, this is a little PowerPoint here. Yeah, this is a guide that's hot off the press. I just got it actually just 2 days ago. It was presented to the public on October 23rd. It's from the Federal Office of Education Technology. And this guide is for parents and family to kind of how to support their children with digital learning. And it is a response, I'm sure, to the situation that we're in with COVID, but it's also, it was probably a needed thing before that anyway, because technology is moving us forward. If you're not on that train, you kind of get left behind. So the more that parents know that they can do to support their children with technology and digital learning, then the better off the students are. So this little guide, it says what it can do for you. It's going to inform you as a parent or caregiver as you monitor your child's progress and access learning for technology and learning. And it's set like in two different sections. But it's actually for a lot of different people, those that have no knowledge of digital learning, those that are expert, and anywhere in between. So there's information in here for everyone. Okay, what I did was I just cut and pasted a little bit of the guide, and the people here actually have a copy. And for folks that are not, I'm going to upload it into a folder like we've been doing through Google, and all the materials that we went over today will be in that folder for you, and I'll send that out to you so you'll have access. But the part one of it is the benefits of digital learning. And it talks about how digital learning makes learning very personalized to a student. And how competency-based learning, which is another term that we've used a lot in education. It gives a good explanation of what competency-based learning is. And then you're connected, how you connect with the technology. And over on the side, the guide also gives you some good tools on each of these areas. Those things in blue are like hot links that can link you to different information in each of those areas. So that's in the guide. Okay, and then the second part that the guide is divided into is in enabling digital learning. And so it talks about internet access, about ways you can access if you don't have it in your own home, other areas you might look to get access, personal learning devices. It goes through like even how to set parental safety controls on your children's devices so that you know what they're seeing is what they need to be seen. And then safety, privacy, and responsibility online. It talks about the digital learner responsibilities, to be a responsible digital learner. And then once again, there's some resources in each of those areas that are in the guide. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm sharing this with you is because ESSA tells us, this is required of us through legislation, that we are to provide materials and training to help parents work with their children and support their children. And in literacy training and in using technology. So this guide goes really well with a mandate that we're given from the legislation. And then the last thing, one other thing ESSA says is we may train parents to enhance the involvement of other parents. And that is a goal of mine for this year for PIDAC, is to reach out to all our parents who have a wealth of knowledge and interest in helping students in their schools and to help engage you to engage other parents. Because I know that at the district level, if a teacher comes in or an administrator comes in and does, you know, for parents and this topic parents and things, it's sort of a different atmosphere. You as a parent relate to other parents. It's less intimidating. It's more, I think you have it's more engaging. So I'm hoping to pull in parents to help us with this training. So my question to you today is, would you like to be involved in creating a training video to be shared with parents at your school that will support parents' efforts in helping their child learn digitally? This little guide will be like a jumping off spot for us that we could use to help in designing our training. And then we'll be gathering resources for that too. And the reason I'm saying training video is that's another goal at federal programs this year, is to do like little mini training videos that are available to parents, and we can put them in the school websites, and the digital website is just for access, basically. It's like for posterity. Once you're not just doing it a one-time shot for those people that are actually able to attend, but you're actually doing something that everyone can access and can build from there. So that's my question to everyone today. And please, I'm going to be sending out emails with links to this information in a folder. And often I do send out emails to people. That's probably the easiest way to get that information. So please remember to check your email often. And I texted everyone a reminder yesterday about PIDAC meeting. I got some feedback that seemed to be a helpful thing. I'm gonna, if I put something new up, I'll text everyone later. Okay. So are there any questions?
So what, are they supposed to email you, text you back about this question?
Well, that's what I thought I would do. I'm going to send out an invitation to the folder that has everything in it, you know, to that folder, the Google folder. And in my message to parents, I'll follow up on how we want to make this happen. And then I'll send out also a text reminding people to please check it. Okay, and then we'll communicate through those two avenues that works. And if anybody has any ideas about that to make that work better, I'm open to that. It just seems that email's easy. Working through Google can be easy if I can get it right the first time. I'm such a great tool. Everybody has access, you know, but it's a little glitchy if you're not an expert, which I'm not an expert, but we're all learning. But so working within that, those areas with those technology pieces, I think. And I'm always available by phone too. But you on my cell phone now, a number, and our federal programs number is also listed on the website. Around. Any comments or questions?
Just for purposes, the people on there, we don't have them signed in, but do you have all of their emails so that you can contact them? I have first names for just some just first names.
Mm-hmm.
So can they type their contact information in the chat? That way you have it?
Oh, that'd be great. Here's what, I'm not sure if you heard Miss Casey. If you wouldn't mind typing in your contact information in the chat box, I think I have everyone's contact information up there. But also that gives us a record of who actually was here. We have the video, but we don't have a sign.
Well, some like LaWanda, I just have her first name. I don't know what her last name.
Okay. Right.
And Rose, that's not her name.
Right. So, oh, if you just type in your name over in the chat box, I have everyone's information, or you wouldn't have got an invitation to this, meeting, but it would give us another documentation if it was here, if you could do that. Would anybody like to make a comment about anything that they've heard today, or just a general comment to the room? Let me comment this. You don't know how appreciative I am that everybody's interest and attendance here today. And people, your involvement will make all the difference in what's going on with our school and our district. It takes all of us, and I do totally appreciate your time attending today. And with that, I guess
Well, I just have a comment.
Next month, and hopefully have a lot of interaction.
We got somebody with a comment.
Oh, that comment?
Sorry. This is Katricia, but I just wanted to make a comment that I really appreciate these meetings. For me personally, I think this one is the best one that we've had so far. It's been really engaging. I really get excited. I'm a product of Putnam County, born and raised here, and I love my county. I love my district. And to see the things that you guys are doing with our graduates to make sure that you're meeting them where they are, to make sure that they are contributing members to society, however they feel it's going to work for them. You know, not all of our kids are going to go to technical school or go to college or whatever the case, but you're meeting their needs where they are. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all your work, all your efforts. And I will say that I'm part of Baby Brain Builders, and we concentrate on babies of Putnam County from 0 to 3 years old. We're trying to build those literacy skills so that when these babies get into pre-K, when they get into kindergarten, they will have that great foundation so that we can build on them. So by the time our babies get into your hands, you're putting them out in the world. And our hope is for them to all come back to Putnam County just to make our county shine. So thank you. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You're amazing.
Thank you, Ms. Peterson. The work you're doing is amazing.
Yeah, me too. I have a question. Well, I had a comment. I appreciate the invitation. It was very nice to know that this is available for parents. I have a few things that I would like to see different in Crescent City High School. I work with youth, and there's, you know, maybe some things that we could do better, but above everything, we're very happy. My daughter's very happy being at Crescent City. I graduated from Crescent City as well, so I'm so proud of her, and I'm proud of everything that's been done. You know, there's always room for improvement, and hopefully I can help in any way to make that, you know, a little possible for our families down in Crescent City. But thank you. And I have to go now. I have a class to start. Thank you for everything.
Okay, so I'm going to be sending out some more information, and the agenda for this meeting actually was created from the survey that you filled out at the end of last meeting, and you know, saying what you're interested in. So I'm going to send another survey out. Please, that information is so valuable to me to help them.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Very nice.
All right. Bye.
Thank you to everyone who made it down to that.